kindly take care of the mutes. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Today we are going to have two slokas combined together. Yesterday we had Srila Vyasadeva. He is foreseeing the anomalies, means abnormalities which are coming up in this Kali Yuga. So he has curbed all of them, and by writing the holy scriptures, and how to counteract these things also we can have today the session. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devin Saraswatin Vyasam Tado Jayam Vadarayet. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki makam karoti vachalam pangam langayite girim yat krupatvam mahamande Sri Guru Dinataram Paramananda Madhavam. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 4, text 17 to 18. Bhautikānāṁ cha bhāvānāṁ śakti-hrāsaṁ cha tat-kṛtam aśraddadhānam niḥsattvān durmedhān hrasitāyuṣaḥ durbhagāṁś janān vīkṣya munir divyena cakṣuṣā sarva-varṇāśramāṇāṁ dadhyau hitam amogha-dṛk. What meaning, translation, and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The great sage, who was fully equipped in knowledge, could see through his transcendental vision the deterioration of everything material due to the influence of the age. He could also see that the faithless people in general would be reduced in duration of life and would be impatient due to lack of goodness. Thus, he contemplated for the welfare of men in all statuses and orders of life. Purport. Purport is a little bigger. Maybe I can read the purport along with the explanation. Om Tat Sat. Vam Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshmurum-militam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sita Patakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragana Danvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padhan Sahagana Lalita Cha Vishakhanvitam Cha He Krishna Karna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostame तप्तकाञ्चन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So as we discussed yesterday, the sage Vyasadeva, he could able to foresee what are the problems are coming for this age of Kali people. And he gave the wonderful ripened fruit of Srimad Bhagavatam, so that the people can able to read, and they can implement in their life, and they can become happy though they are in the age of Kali. And at the end also we discussed one words, Kalet doshanide rajan hasti ek mahat guna. Kirtanat eva Krishnasya mukta sangha param vraja. Though Kali Yuga is full of faults, but there is still one good that Kirtanat. Kirtanat of not somebody else. Kirtanat eva Krishnasya, and Harinam Sankirtan, and glories and pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. If they are chanted and recited, the place is purified and people are protected just by the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. That's why we made it mandatory that daily we come early in the morning and we chant the holy name of the Lord. Whole day we are protected. Here the great sage who was fully equipped in knowledge and could see through his transcendental vision, and sage Vasudeva could able to envision, because he is Shakti-hrāsam avatar empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and his full name was Krishna Dvaipayana Vyas. Vyas means is divided, so he divided all the Vedas. So then, otherwise, people cannot be able to understand it fully. So earlier, Vaidya means only one doctor for all the departments, and these days, this has been divided into organ-wise, like for TB, there is one doctor, and for cancer, another doctor, for sugar, another doctor, for bones, another doctor, like that. But earlier it was only one. Similarly, Vasudev also has given a lot of scriptures, and he divided so that people can able to understand it. It's not that they can able to read all the scriptures. So Vasudev could also see that the faithless people in general would be reduced in duration of life, alpayush, and would be impatient due to lack of goodness. Because goodness means they should be in the mode of sattva guna. So people in Kali Yuga, most of them are in ignorance, and other people, they are in mode of passion and ignorance clubbed together. So thus he contemplated for the welfare of men in all statuses and orders of life. So keeping these nasty people into consideration, the Supreme Lord is very merciful, and he sent Vasudeva, and also he himself came in this Kali Yuga as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he gave the ripened fruit, the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, and dancing and singing together. And this is the very easiest process, anybody can do it. And Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, the unmanifested forces of time are so powerful that they reduce all matter oblivion in due course. In Kali Yuga, the last millennium of around 4 millenniums, the power of all material objects deteriorates by the influence of time. As you know, time is also working under the direction of the Supreme Lord. The sun and the moon and everything working under Krishna's control. And the Supreme Lord knows when to reduce, when to increase, and which yuga to come, when next, and everything is designed by the Lord. Why the Lord makes all these things means just to attract these people in general, so that they can come back to him. Otherwise, they are very much attracted to this material world glittering, and they stay back here permanently. But Lord says, yesterday we discussed, this is dukkhalayam ashashvatam, and all goals will be vanquished. We are not supposed to stay here. So in this age of duration of material body of the people in general is much reduced, and is the memory also. So the memory, what we think, is very, very substandard. And just now, 1 minute back, what we did, we don't remember. What we read in the books and papers, and we are unable to remember. This is the influence of the time. So the action of matter has also not so much incentive. The land does not produce good grains. These are the various ill effects of Kali Yuga. The action of matter has also not so incentive, means whatever related to the material activities we do, and it is not ripening any benefits for us. The land does not produce food grains in the same proportion as it did in other ages. If you talk about Satya, Treta, and Dwapara Yuga, and Bhudevi is used to produce a lot of food grains. And we keep hearing from Vrajnath Prabhu and Varaha Prabhu, various other previous slokas that at the end of even the Dwapara Yuga also, Bhudevi used to produce sumptuous food grains and milk and so many other things. And rains used to come in time. But as soon as the Dwapara Yuga ended, when Kali Yuga started, there actually all problems have started. So Bhudevi, who is actually Bhara for Bhudevi? The person who does not keep his promise, and the people who are not following the regulator principles, they are really burdened for Bhudevi. That's why Bhudevi is not producing a proper food grains. Then another point, the cow does not give as much as milk as it used to give formerly, because in the Kali Yuga itself, Kalipurusha entered and he was trying to uh, kill the cow. Then at the time, Parikshit Maharaj came and rescued. And in this way, cow is very, very auspicious. The Supreme Lord named his Loka as Goloka. And actually, on cow, we need to have a separate session. This very elaborated. Moreover, and we all know that scientifically it is proved that all the cow products are very, very auspicious. Just by using those cow products, also we are doing go seva. Go seva is very, very auspicious. But coming to this point, in Kali Yuga, cow is not giving sufficient milk. When milk is not there, we cannot make any buttermilk we cannot make, and we cannot make yogurt, we cannot make cheese, we cannot make clarified butter. And this clarified butter is very much useful for worshipping the Lord in offering the yajna. And due to want of so many necessities of life, sorry, I missed it. The production of vegetables and fruits is less than before. See, all these benefits are slow, gradually, they are getting deteriorated because it is the influence of the Kali. As such, all living beings, both men and animals, do not have sumptuous, nourishing food. And till today, recently, if you can see, some 10 years back, I think we used to have good fruits when we used to purchase in the market, like papaya, banana, sapota, and when we used to have it, they are very sweet also. And these days I observed, and these fruits are not at all tasty, and they are forcibly ripened by sprinkling some powder. And with this powder, the people use it to make it ripen and sell in the market. And by consuming that, chemicals also go inside, and all the people are suffering with the various side effects and other diseases. This is the influence of Kali Yuga. Due to want of so many necessities of life, naturally the duration of life is reduced. The memory is short, intelligence is meager, mutual dealings are full of hypocrisy and so on. And in this way, the degradation has started, and we can still witness the symptoms of this Kali Yuga. The great sage Vyasadeva could see this by his transcendental vision. As an astrologer can see the future fate of a man, or an astronomer can foretell the solar and lunar eclipses, those liberated souls who can see through the scriptures can foretell the future of all mankind. They can see this due to their short vision of spiritual attainment. Just like if a patient goes to the doctor can able to judge what are the symptoms of his ailment, and how he can able to prescribe him proper medicines and injections and tablets, etc. Similarly, a liberated soul who is Vasudeva himself is a great sage, and he can able to foresee that in the future people are going to suffer a lot to the greatest extent. And he's so merciful that he wanted to give them the ripened fruit, so that people in general can be they can read these scriptures and they can be protected also. And all such transcendentalists who are naturally devotees of the Lord are always eager to render welfare service to the people in general. See, normally people who give this avayavadhan, vastradhan, netardhan, those things, they are all relating to body only. And it does not have any spiritual value. Spiritual value means that should be done in Krishna consciousness way. Suppose you are doing annadana for thousands and millions of people, and if it is not offered to Krishna, then they have to take all the reactions, including the donor. That's why you should be very careful. But if you talk about a Vaishnava, is a paradukka-dukhi. How is a paradukka-dukhi? He is very much concerned about the soul inside the body. And he would invite them to chant the holy name of the Lord. And Vaishnava, gives prasadam to the conditioned soul, and he invite them for Gita and Bhagavatam classes, and so that the soul will be enlightened, so that he will come to know I am not this body, I am the soul. And the people who help in this way, they are our real well-wishers. We should understand this fact. So they are the real friends of the people in general, not the so-called public leaders who are unable to see what is going to happen in 5 minutes ahead. Even Srila Prabhupada advised Gandhi not to go out and stay back, but still he went out and he got killed. In this case, the people in general, as well as their so-called leaders, are all unlucky fellows, faithless in spiritual knowledge and influenced by the age of Kali. Actually, this is not their mistake because they are carried out by the age of Kali. Why? Because they are not God conscious. If they are Krishna conscious, chanting and following for regulator principle, surely they will be protected. So this age of people, they are always disturbed by various diseases. Now Prabhupada is talking about 1970s, and Prabhupada is giving one example. In the present age, there are so many TB patients, tuberculosis bacillus, related to chest, and TB hospitals. But formerly, this was not so because the time was not so unfavorable. So during that period, there were no TB patients, and slowly it got deteriorated. Now, for 2020, the famous coronavirus was there, and it has shattered the whole world. And everywhere there was corona treatment, corona medicines, corona doctors, so much so that people suffered a lot. Even till today, also the remnants of corona are still are there. So the unfortunate men of this age are always reluctant to give a reception to the transcendentalists who are representatives of Srila Vasudeva, and selfless workers always busy in planning something which may help everyone in all statuses and orders of life. Here we can understand that this is the bad quality of present age people. What is the bad? Because they are not giving a reception. That means they are not inviting Vaishnavas into their house, or they are not they are not hearing Gita Bhagavatam from the transcendentalists, means the Vaishnavas. Thereby, they are not getting information about the Supreme Lord, and this is the cause of all misfortune. The great, the greatest philanthropists are those transcendentalists who represent the mission of Vyasa, Narada, Madhva, Chaitanya, Rupa, Saraswati, etc. They are all one and the same. The personalist may be different, the personalities may be different, but the aim of the mission is one and the same, namely to deliver the fallen souls back home, back to Godhead. So, of course, to attain Krishna is a mission impossible, but Srila Prabhupada made this mission possible. How? Simply you hear the holy name of the Lord, and simply, you can have devotees association. If you can have devotees association, you can able to get each and everything, and there is no dearth of any Krishna conscious knowledge. So normally, if any pious person, surely he will get devotees association, and from that point onwards, he will grow like anything. So relating to these words, I can also give a reference that in Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavad Gita 3.14, it is mentioned. annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyad anna sambhavaha. Yajnat bhavanti parjanyo yajna karma samudbhavaha. And all living, this is actually interlinked. How annad bhavanti bhutani means all living bodies subsist on food grains. Even you talk about animals or birds or snakes or reptiles, all living entities, they are depending on the food grains, which are produced from rains. So then how the rains, rains are produced by performance of yajna, means sacrifice. Then how, and yajna is born of prescribed duties. What are the prescribed duties? And varnashrama, daivi varnashrama dharmas are the prescribed duties. And those who are following the holy name, chanting the holy name of the Lord, and this is the highest perfection. Srila Prabhupada also mentions, yajna, specifically the Sankirtan yajna is prescribed for this age and must therefore perform to save us at least from a scarcity of food supply. So in this way, if we can have a glance on these words, we can understand that though Kali Yuga is full of fault, but chanting the holy name of the Lord, following four regulated principles, having devotees association, reading and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, honoring, offering, prasadam, this will really protect us. Otherwise, there is no scope of our protection. So thank you very much for patiently hearing early in the morning Srimad Bhagavatam. I stop here. If you have any questions or comments, you are welcome. Grandaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Guru Maharaj ki jai.